311, search for a suspicious person, 326 Batavia. No caller stating there's a black male wearing a red shirt, looking around at the property. It's gonna be a red flannel shirt. Again, 326 Batavia, 311. 311, they're stating it's gonna be the duplex next to the first apartment building.
Copy, thank you. Foot 32, with Charles 22.
Charles 22? Search for domestic violence, 4124 Burnham. Female caller Adriana states her 12-year-old son is being abused by his father Maurice at this location. She's going to be en route as well. She's about an hour away. 4124 Burnham, 121.
Last week.
Search for a property call, 737 Bronson. No caller Martin stating he found an unused goal at the location that he wants crews to come pick up. Again, 737 Bronson, he said.
Action, field mission.
We're going to get cancellation for your call at Batavia. No caller states that he spoke to the involved male and there's no need for crews.
Copy edit.
Item. And 121, that caller is going to be coming in a black Buick Outlander. 411, checking your safety.
We're good, thank you.
Copy.
Hello, someone. I'm doing good. It's been super busy last couple days. Haven't really time to stream, and plus this drive is so short. Normally I've been not doing it as much. Probably gonna stream tonight from the desktop though.
Yeah, I've cleared that call on her station. I'll be en route from Davis and Oakley.
Copy that, sir. And if you advise, we tried to reach her, but we don't have a good call back. Seeing if call taker was good. Just checking the tape. Almost up. Almost up.
How are you doing there, someone somewhere? Been raining off and on for the last 2 days here. Actually 3 days. Memorial Day too. That's cool. Yeah, I had a large water leak at my house. Started Friday night. They couldn't even come out till Saturday. We'll have to replace a ton of stuff. A whole treatment system,
I'm here, you
filtration system, water softener. It's gonna cost around $8,200. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Can you show me Route 62 around my house priority?
Yeah, it seems like it's one thing after another with this house lately.
Getaway copy of showing Brown White House Primary, 65 Town North, Texas. Colors ready, white identity. One six seven of me complaining at your station. 109 Studley. Caller Michael. I'll speak to officer about retrieving a wallet from your office. Caller's in the lobby, white down, gray shirt, black. Yeah. 167.
Clear from second white.
137. Yeah, Mr. Shoyano. 169.
Copy that.
Well, that's crazy. Brand new house, huh? That stinks. Definitely talk to the builder about that one, whoever did the siding. I'm hoping homeowners insurance may cover part of this, but we'll see.
Copy, man. Thank you. Sure. One six four noise complaint, dog barking, 530 Cambridge Park South near Hertford Court. 530 Cambridge Park South.
I'm clear. There's skin in the trail.
168 dispatch.
168.
I'll take that for 164.
Okay, no, 164.
Alright.
808 though.
23 dispatch 8.
238.
That's crazy. Well, the clouds, don't they look kind of menacing? Actually, kind of pretty.
214's Edward.
214.
clearing up to the west once I come around the corner here. Ooh. Shit, my show's on. No more coppers. I want to listen to my show.
A letter to Merrick Garland over from the United States Senate saying he's also looking into this. And so we'll see if Garland throws that one in the toilet with the other letters. Marco Rubio also jumping out into this one. He didn't send a letter, which he's probably working on. It feels like all the VP candidates are kind of getting their ducks in a row. Like, oh crap, did you get your complaint letter in? Trump wants those due by Friday. Friday? I thought he said next Friday. No, this Friday. It's due this Friday. Get your letters in. Oh crap, did Elise Stefanik get her letter in? Yeah, she got it in already. She was the first one. Elise, gosh, she's always the first. So Marco Rubio is sending his in. All of them going out to, they should be complaining. And then we'll wrap it up with NBC. NBC says, you know, the defense did a pretty good job on this, I think. Which is true, because the case is rigged. So we've got two amazing segments to get to today. We're going to go through the jury instructions. It's going to be a little bit excellent. We're going to be so happy that we've done this, because these are the rules that the jurors are going to be following, and they want to hear them again. They won't even get copies of them. So we've got a bunch to get into today, my friends. Before we do, there's some other news out there. You've probably seen this about bird flu. Check this out. 4.2 million infected chickens gotta go. Cold in Iowa. That's a lot of chickens. It's like it's a lot of chickens, but it's not as many pieces of paper as Trump has in his January 6th discovery case. So 4.2 million chickens is really about half, or really a third, honestly, of the 12 million pages in the Trump discovery case. But here's the thing. There's a outbreak among chicken flocks and dairy cows. 2 cases of the virus have appeared in people. Not good. Despite ongoing testing, they were okay. Their symptoms were relieved with over-the-counter flu medication, so that's good news. Now, it's always good to be prepared. We don't know what the heck is coming down the pike. One way we can be prepared is with our friends over at the Wellness Company. You remember the last pandemic, it was a little bit of a mess. Some of us were unprepared. Not going to happen this time, though. Our friends at the Wellness Company have a prescription contagion emergency kit, the only kit of its kind. Comes from the Wellness Company, provides you with a carefully selected assortment, various different medications inside. You got the ivermectin, the hydroxychloroquine, all sorts of stuff, the budesonide nebulizer, because you never know what you're going to need when you're going to need it. And it comes with a guidebook to explain how to use it all. This is backed by research from people like Dr. Peter McCullough. You know who he is. And this is a kit that every American should have. Very simple to get. Go to twc.health/Robert. Link down in the description. You can save when you use promo code Robert, and you'll get free shipping. So make sure you enter code Robert at checkout. It's a prescription kit, twc.health/Robert. Kits are only available in the USA, and it's better to be prepared. As we always say, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, as they say. So check that out. Links down in the description below. And now, my friends, without any further ado, let's get into it, because a jury that now has the case. Let's see what's inside. Jurors now demand more from Judge Juan Merchan. They've got the case. They're deliberating. The fate of Donald Trump's freedom, according to Judge Juan Merchan, is now at stake. Is he going to be a convicted felon, yes or no? Problem is, the jury doesn't really have a lot of information about how the rules apply. They heard a bunch of nonsense from liars like Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels, and they're supposed to apply the rules to the facts that they observed. But they're not going to be getting a copy of the jury instructions, which is a strange thing. We don't really know what the heck's going on in New York. A lot of strange things happening here. But in most cases that we've talked about and covered here, and in my own experience and practice, Juries get copies of the instructions so that they can understand, what the law is, so that they have the elements of the offense that they can measure the facts against. How can they just remember all of it when some judge spouts it off in the middle of the courtroom? So when we were listening to this, we saw that CNN reported this. Judge Mercan says that the jury instructions, he's going to read it, and we'll go through what he read, and it's going to take an hour. But the jurors are not going to get copies of any of it. What? So I guess they're just going to be taking
that one
notes
looks weird too.
on the whole thing? But they may request that Mercan read them back to them, either in whole or in part. Why might they do this? Well, because they don't want the jury to see the mechanics of it. They don't want the jury to zoom in on anything and use that as an excuse to say, oh, no, sorry, this case needs to go. There's a lot of money to be made in the madness. It's a confusopoly, to use a Gilbert Scott Adams term. Everything's confusing. So the jury just goes, FECA, New York law, New York tax law, object crime, predicate crime, and no one knows. So the judge is hiding the instructions from them. It would be very useful for them to have the instructions. How do we know that? Because they asked for him to read it again, as we'll see. Now, they may request a reread. They've done that. But the first question that came in from the jury came in at 2:56. The judge went through the instructions. Deliberations started. We got a jury note. A lot of ears went up. Whoa. Is this a verdict? Are they going to come out and give us a verdict? Wow. Turns out it wasn't. It was 4 requests that came out. 1, Pecker's testimony about the phone call with Trump. They want to zoom in on that transcript. What did he say? What did Pecker say about his phone call with Trump? What did he say? We also want to know about Pecker's testimony about a decision not to finalize and fund McDougal's life rights. That's a curious one. David Pecker didn't complete the deal with Droopy McDougal, who was slated to come in and testify in court, but never did, because after Stormy's testimony, they realized what a catastrophe this whole angle was. So why would the jury be asking about Pecker and the decision not to finalize the deal? Did he not finalize the deal because Trump won the presidency? Did he comment on why he didn't finalize the deal? Was he going to finalize the deal with or without the presidency? Was it related to the candidacy or the election? Or was it just something that Trump had an interest in because he wanted to protect his reputation and his wife and his livelihood, his business, and so on? Pecker's testimony on the Trump Tower meeting. What did Pecker say that they did there or they talked about? And also Michael Cohen's testimony about the Trump Tower meeting. Now, all of these things, of course, seem, other than point number 2, have to do with Trump. What did Cohen say, or what was his involvement in Trump Tower? So the jury is maybe connecting causation. They're saying that was Trump causing these things to happen? Was Trump, did he have knowledge? Was he knowingly involved in these things because of these meetings? All good questions. And to be honest, it's all speculation. The jury could just be confused, and people just said, what did they say? And I thought that guy, and so on. So there could be any various reasons for why these are coming out, but the point here that is absolutely something we can glean from this is they are thinking about it. They have not just come out and decided, of course, not guilty, which we thought was never going to happen, or guilty, which was everyone's biggest fear, that they just turn around. It's a bunch of New Yorkers, 80% Democrat, voted for Alvin Bragg, who campaigned on prosecuting Trump. What if they just came out and hit it? Now, we made this point on our members only stream this morning. The fact that they're thinking about this is an L for the government right out of the gate. And they are thinking about it. They want to dig into it. They didn't buy their stupid case, hook, line, and sinker. They're like, no. We need to know a lot more. Pecker might be credible. Michael Cohen was not. Maybe that's why they want to hear more from Pecker. So the government has already failed by not getting a quick guilty verdict. The jurors are thinking about it. And they gave them everything. It's like if you bring a dog into a butcher's shop. In this analogy, the dog are the jurors. And the butcher shop with raw meat laying all over the place, those are the prosecutors. And the dog walks in, sniffs around, sees one look at Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels. He's like, Stormy Daniels and
Yeah,
Michael
unindoctrinated.
Cohen, butcher.
Thank you.
Ugh, that dog is a
Yeah,
really good
I'm getting
boy.
ready
He's
to
smart.
go home and
He
make
turns
some
right
dinner
around and walks out
myself.
the
Not
door and
even
says,
sure what I'm
not
making
inside
yet.
yet. I need to see where all this stuff came from. Where'd that piece of meat come from? Where'd that one come from? And even the dog has to analyze
I'll
it.
figure it out though.
And that's an embarrassment to the butcher.
I think I might make some pizza. I have
So
a
they're thinking about it. Now, there's
mini
also
pizza oven.
another note that came out. Update, another note.
Some homemade pizza.
Came in 3:51 p.m. They were going to go until 4:30. The jury comes out and asks for a reread of the instructions, which Judge Mercan said you're not going to get a copy of. Now, it's unclear if they mean all of the instructions or if it's just a portion. But if it's all of them, it's going to take another hour. We're going to read it here. Now, Kyle Cheney is commenting on this. He writes for Politico. Why I clip from him. Even he agrees with us. You know, it remains bizarre to me that the jury doesn't just get a copy of the instructions. Huh. Yeah, as they often do in other courts. Yeah, that's true. Why didn't they get one here? Is there an advantage to withholding them? Well, you might say that the jurors might haggle over the language and get confused in the legalese, and that's not their job. And the court's going to say, well, it's my job to instruct them on the legalese. It's all cope. It's all ridiculous. You explain it to them. You just read it to them. So why don't you give them a copy? They get transcripts of everything else, but you're not going to give them a transcript of what you just read to them? It's so that they can cover this up. Because the last thing they want them to do is to play Where's Waldo? And let's talk about what that means. Kyle Cheney asks, some reason this would sharpen their thinking if they have to just listen to me and write everything down real fast? How does this work? It's the spaghetti approach. They're just throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. If you tell the jury how to disambiguate all of that, then they're going to do that. So you just keep them in the dark. So let's apply some analogies to this. Some ways to think about how this works practically. Jury panels have a bunch of different people. In this panel, we've got 2 lawyers, we've got some financial people, and a mixture of other professions. We have basically a 50-50 split. I think it's 7 men, 5 women. But what is happening in the room? They could be going through the puzzle maneuver, where they're moving pieces around, where they have different witnesses in their brains. They have different criminal offenses in their brains. They have all the rules in their notes that they're trying to sort out. And they're displaying it all over the place, right? How do we, okay, so if Trump signed these checks, counts 12, 13, and 15, and he signed 17, 18, and 19, you put those over here. You think it maybe that if he signed them, they're guilty? That's your, okay, so put those over here. And so maybe they do an initial vote. And some people say, I don't know. I think he could be guilty on some, he could be guilty on another. And that's not what we want. When we break this down, what are our options? We could have all guilty on all charges. That would be the worst case scenario. Legally speaking, I think it would be a springboard to the White House, but legally, 34 counts guilty, all counts.
All right, guys, thanks for riding with me. Like I said, I may go live tonight. We'll see.
Because a victory for them is having
Pretty
Trump
tired.
labeled a felon. So you could have